Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to give you a quick update what's happening in my shithole of a state, what's going to turn into a shithole of a state. By the way, it's going. This is an article, what's this from? Some local news station, not mainstream at all. Talking about all of the stupid crap that the Democrats in the House and Senate are passing. Because they're amazingly smart and they know exactly what they're talking about when they talk about different types of guns. The knowledge which they possess is unparalleled in our day and age. So we have to respect our new Democratic overlords and just give up all of our freedom for the safety of children.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
As debate raged across Friday, wow, I can talk. As debate raged across Virginia on Thursday over state of emergency declared by Governor Blackface Coon Man Ralph Northam, upheld in court that bans weapons. This is all old news. This first paragraph. This happened weeks ago. Blah, 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 blah. Right. So the Senate Judiciary Committee killed the controversial Senate Bill 16, which would redefine and ban assault bills while passing several other gun bills. So as of right now, if I remember correctly, the House has passed an assault weapons ban and a ban on magazines that are 12 rounds or more. Now, the Senate still has to pass that. This is the one bill that people think that even the Democrats will not get enough support over, because some Democrats will have some shred of reason and intelligence, and Democrats will not have every single Democrat on their side in the Senate to pass this, the worst bill of them all, so they think this one's going to fail. But the House and Senate have passed other bills. If I know the system correctly, the Senate can write bills and the House can write bills, but the two have to match. They have to agree, basically, in order for it to go to Coon Man to sign. Now, if I understand it correctly, and if I've done a lot of research, so I may have missed something, that no bills have had both House and Senate and Northam sign them yet. There are some bills that the House has passed. There are some bills that the Senate has passed. But there are no bills that both have agreed on and sent Northam to sign. If I'm incorrect in that, you guys let me know in the comments. If I find something, I'll do an update or whatever. So now we're going to go at the bills that have passed the Senate. SB 70, which would establish mandatory background checks for any transfer of firearms, including private sales. This is what the Democrats fantasize is the gun show loophole, where you can sell a gun to your friend and there's no background check necessary. That's not a loophole, it's just people selling legal property to each other. Why should the government give a fucking damn what the fuck I sell to people? If I want to sell a cabinet to someone, I just put it on Craigslist and someone buys my fucking cabinet. Like, that's how easy gun sales should be. And people are like, well, wait a second, Robert. The government, controls sales of cars. You have to go to the DMV and get the title transfer, all that stuff. Yeah, they shouldn't do that fucking shit either. You should be able to sell cars and guns just as easily as you can buy a cabinet or a dresser. There's no fucking reason why the government should have any business on what you do with your illegal property. There's just no reason. The only reason they do that is to collect all the fees and taxes. You have to pay a sales tax when you buy a used car from a private individual. You got to pay for the title of transfer, whatever. All of these fees, the government just gobbles up like greedy little thugs. It passed the Senate on 23-17 with 2 Republicans joining Democrats to support it. So we'll look up who those 2 Republicans are and vote them out because they're traitors to the Constitution, to the people. Then it goes into the exemptions. No one cares because the law is already bad. It's like, oh yeah, this law may infringe on your freedom, but you can still sell to family members and you can still give to your friend, for target practice. No, it doesn't matter. It's the principle of the matter. That's the problem. You can make all these cute caveats all you want. It's still tyranny. Also passed by the full Senate was SB 69 and SB 35. Senate's Bill 69, really? You can think of another number? Would institute a 1 gun a month law for Virginia, limiting citizens to 1 handgun purchase within any 30-day period. So somehow Democrats thinking that limiting handgun purchases to 1 a month will save lives, but you can buy as many shotguns and rifles as you want within a 30-day period, and that's perfectly fine. But the rifles are the big scary ones. Those are the ones that are used in mass shootings. Those are the scary AR-15, so why don't you care about that? Like, none of these rules make any fucking sense. And I would like to see any sort of fucking data that would show how this law of limiting one handgun purchase a month would have saved any lives whatsoever. Now again, it has all these exemptions, blah, 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 blah. Well, if your purpose is to save lives as they proclaim, then why make all these exceptions? If you exempt people with valid Virginia concealed handgun permits, well then everyone's just going to get a permit and they can buy as many as they want. Like, you're easily circumventing the law. The law is pointless. It's just inconveniencing people. Because now I got to get a valid concealed handgun permit before I can buy 2 pistols in 1 month. Like, just, that's so easily done. Like, why the fuck is that even a rule? It's like, how can you ever possibly enforce a gun show loophole? How can you possibly enforce 2 random people meeting up and selling a gun to one another in the parking lot or at a house, or a random person at a gun show? You know, if you're not a dealer or a company, you don't have to have a license to sell guns at gun shows. You can be a random civilian who got a table and is like, hey, I got a couple of guns I want to sell. You can perfectly do that. How are they going to enforce that at all? How can they possibly know 2 people are going to randomly meet up at someone's house and sell a gun, or like on Craigslist or something? How could they ever possibly know that? Oh, a registry. That's how they would know. Because suddenly the shotgun Billy Bob Joe does not have, now Billy Bob Jean has. And if you don't register it, then you're going to get fined. Well, what's wrong with the registry, Robert? That's no big deal. This is a list of guns that people own. That's no big deal, right? I mean, people have a list of, what house you have, what car you have. Registry always leads to confiscation every single time. You can look it up in history. I don't know why I have to explain it. Well, because people don't understand history. That's why. If people know who has the guns, then they can just map out the National Guard or SWAT teams, as Northam said he would do if, let I remind you, so like, oh, that's paranoid conspiracy theories, that registry leads to confiscation. Northam already said he would send the National Guard in if the police wouldn't enforce the laws. Now the National Guard and the SWAT have a list of, here are all the houses of people with guns. Let's just mop them up, boys. Why can't we do that with illegal immigrants? Virginia is proposing to get driver's license to illegal immigrants. Why can't we give a driver's license to every single illegal immigrant, then use that registry in the DMV to just round them all the fuck up and get them out of our fucking country? Apparently that's racist. Apparently that's Democrats are, no, you can't do that. You're racist. You must hate Hispanics. You racist, white supremacist. I can't believe you ever think of an idea. So you can have illegal immigrant sanctuary cities, but gun sanctuary cities are not okay. And you can give driver's license to illegal immigrants instead of just rounding them up like you should. But that's beside the point. We're getting off topic here. Senate Bill 35 gives local governments the authority to ban possession of firearms in public spaces during events which require permits, like protests. It passed on a 21-19 party line vote as well. Well, then any event that requires a permit, which is, if I remind you, because the government because the government controls every single aspect of our poor, pathetic lives, every event you have requires a permit. There are no events you can hold in public space that do not require a permit because the government wants to control every single tiny little thing that you do. So that means any single event in public, the government can just randomly, arbitrarily say, nope, we're banning the possession of firearms at this event. Why? Because reasons. Why? Because we made up intelligence that there are going to be like white supremacist terrorist attacks, like Northam did to justify no guns in the Capitol grounds. That's just an excuse to infringe on your freedom, to infringe on your rights, to expand fascism and tyranny. All you need to say is, we have unsubstantiated evidence we can't show you because of national security, that you have no way of verifying that we're telling the truth or not. Like, we're the government. We're not going to lie, right? We have this intelligence that these white supremacists can attack this rally, so therefore you can't have guns there. Can't you see it's a recipe for abusing power? Come on. To become law, each of these bills will also need to pass the House of Delegates, then have any differences from the different chambers resolved and voted on, then signed into law by Governor Coon Blackface Northam. Just like I said in the beginning of the video. None of these bills are law. As far as I know, no stupid idea the Democrats have come up with yet have actually become law because Northam has not yet signed them yet. Because they need to go to both houses, they need to agree on the differences and change it and vote like this is what we're going to submit to the governor. They haven't done that yet. SB 240, which established red flag laws, were passed in the Senate. Blah, 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 blah. During the hearings, Senator Amanda Chase, Republican from Chesterfield, said she was concerned about SB 35. She said the measure would create gun-free zones and disarm law-abiding citizens. I would just like to see any Democrat, argue against that. How is this not disarming law-abiding citizens? But they will never do that. They will use euphemisms. They will use doublespeak. They will take advantage of tragic mass shooting events. They will make up terms like high-capacity, double-round clip magazines that are fully semi-automatic. They will make up all these terms. They will conflate, They will conflate the meaning of terms that we already have and just avoid any valid criticism that they have. The good guys won't have the guns, Chase said. They won't be able to protect themselves, and we're basically creating a disastrous situation in which criminals will not follow the law and will only hurt and create victims. Blah, 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 blah. Senator Dick Slosha, no wonder he's a Democrat from Springfield. No wonder he's a fucking dick, because he's a fucking fascist. He said the measure does not infringe upon law-abiding citizens because they are still able to purchase multiple handguns a year. 12 handguns a year are more than enough for most citizens, Saslaw said. If you need more than that, go to Texas. They don't have any laws. Well, there was so much to unpack just in those two sentences that this fucking retard said. First of all, Texas not having any laws? Are you retarded? Are you acting like Texas is just some lawless wasteland that has no laws whatsoever and it's just Mad Max over there in the desert? You're going to say, no, what he means is no gun laws. Yeah, they fucking do, you fucking liars. Texas has plenty of gun laws. If you would just Google those 3 words into Google, Texas gun laws, and you will come up with a list of all of the rules that they have. So don't act like that doesn't exist. And then when he's saying that 12 handguns a year are more than enough for most citizens, why is it the government's right to determine how many possessions of a lawful item you can have or not have? That is none of their business. If you want to go and buy junk $200 cars randomly, just like you're a car collector, you constantly buy cars. How is it the government's job to say, these cars, people are killed, I believe it's, I forget how many deaths there are, 30,000, 40,000 deaths a year in car accidents? So you are amassing all these cars. That's not okay. We need to limit your purchase of cars to 1 a year. No one needs to buy more than 1 car a year. Like low IQ brainlet. The government has no business telling you how much of something you can buy or not. Yeah, he's right that most people will not have enough money to buy more than 12 handguns a year. I certainly don't have that much money. But if someone does, then let them do it. It's the principle of the matter. You may say, no one's going to buy more than 12 guns a year. It doesn't matter. It's not your right to tell them you can't do that. They're a legal adult. They're buying with their own money. They can do it. Even if you think it's absurd, let them do it. People collect dolls and have hundreds of stupid dolls. Who am I to say, these dolls are stupid. You can buy like 3 a year. No, it's none of my business. As far as gun laws up for debate in the House of Delegates like HB 961, which shares a lot of similarities to the now dead SB 16 assault weapons ban, none has yet advanced to the full House floor. HB 961 remains in the Committee of Public Safety, which has not discussed it yet. Now, there's an update to this article. This article is a little old. The House did propose an assault weapons ban and a ban of magazines more than 12 rounds, punishable by 1 year in jail for every magazine owned. So you buy a lot of magazines because that's what you do. When you buy guns, you have a lot of magazines for them so you can reload them instead of buying one magazine and then shooting and then reloading that one magazine up with spare bullets and then putting it back in. Like, that takes too long when you're at the range. You buy lots of magazines. You're saying that you're going to have in 1 year in jail for every magazine owned? That is so fascist. That is so undeniably fascist. That's like saying, wow, you have like 20 sets of rims for all your cars you're collecting? Oh no, you're going to go to jail for 6 months for each rim you have. What the fuck are you talking about? Why do you care? Why do you care how many magazines I have? In the months since Democrats took control of Virginia's government for the first time in over 2 decades, over 100 localities across Virginia has passed resolutions declaring themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries, stating they're opposed to any bills that would restrict Second Amendment rights. Democrats in General Assembly say the bills moving forward, like red flag laws and universal background checks, are common sense gun safety measures that don't respect any constitutional rights. Oh, so if I want to pass fascist tyranny, all I need to say is it's common sense. And then it's okay, right? Even though common sense has no arbitrary objective term, and what one person calls common sense, another person can say it's fucking retarded, it doesn't matter. No, just call it common sense. What? You're against common sense gun control? You must hate children. You must want mass shootings to happen. You white supremacist radicals terrorist. Oh, so let me do this. You know, common sense immigration is rounding all illegal immigrants and kicking them out. It's just common sense immigration. What are you against common sense immigration? You don't care about children. You want people to die. Like, see how easy I can just flip it on them? What in reality, the ironic part is that is actually common sense immigration. That is what immigration has been for the vast majority of countries throughout the vast majority of human history, because that's what works. But then we're getting off topic here. And the article is just ending with, you know, lots of counties in Virginia are saying we will not comply with this anti-Second Amendment legislature because we were sworn to uphold the Constitution, and therefore we're actually having a spine in doing that. And then the Democrats just whinging uncontrollably saying, no, you're going to follow them anyway. Well, you can just say you can follow them all you want. If they're not going to do it, they're not going to do it. Well, how are you going to make them do it? You can fire them all. You're going to fire the entire police force for certain counties? Good luck with that, dog. That's a good idea. Have lawlessness. Now, that's actual lawlessness. Not Texas gun laws, but that's lawlessness. What are you going to do, send in the National Guard? I'm sure that's optically great for your party when you're sending in government troops that aren't from there. You're pulling National Guard from the entire state and just marching into these towns and cities and houses and just killing people and taking their property. That's not fascist at all. That's not reminiscence of Mussolini or Stalin or Castro or anything like that, man. That's perfectly reasonable. That's a perfectly reasonable response to people saying, fuck off, Northam, fuck off, government, fuck off, tyranny. We don't want this shit.